They say you should never get too attached to material things, but when someone destroys the car you've worked years to buy, you don't just let it go. You make sure they regret it for the rest of their life. Before we dive in, which country are you watching from? My $100,000 pride and joy, my Lotus Emira. I dreamed about owning one since my early 20s, watching videos of that aggressive exhaust note late at night, imagining the day I could finally slide behind the wheel. It took me over 4 years of disciplined saving. No vacations, no impulse buys, and driving an old, wheezing Corolla until the wheels practically begged for retirement. But the day I rolled into my quiet HOA-managed cul-de-sac, the stairs made it all worth it. Jake, my buddy 2 doors down, came jogging out, phone already recording. "Brew, you actually did it!" He grinned. We stood there admiring the matte silver finish, the sleek aerodynamics, and that deep, purring idle like it was fine art. But apparently my dream car wasn't everyone's dream. Enter Rita. Not the HOA president, just an overzealous board member with too much free time. Mid-50s, bleach blonde bob, always dressed like she was preparing for a tax audit. She stood at the end of my driveway, arms crossed, sunglasses low, judging me like my Amira had personally offended her ancestors. I gave a polite nod. She turned and walked off without a word. Over the next 2 weeks, Rita became a shadow, circling my house in her Prius, scribbling in a notebook, pretending to inspect sidewalks and trash cans that didn't need inspecting. Then came the inevitable confrontation. Clipboard in hand, she stood on my porch and declared, word for word, "Your car is loud, lowers property values, and ruins the peaceful aesthetic of this neighborhood. Replace it with something cleaner. A Tesla would be preferable." A Tesla. I nearly laughed in her face. I'd read the HOA bylaws front to back. Nothing in there banned sports cars. I kept my driving respectful, never revved unnecessarily, never blocked driveways. I was the definition of a model neighbor. Weeks passed with no new car in my driveway, just the glorious sound of my Amira each morning. Then, one evening after an HOA meeting held at Rita's house, which she skipped, I came home to a nightmare. Red spray paint across my rear window. I warned you. All 4 tires slashed flat. Both side mirrors snapped clean off. My hands shook as I checked my Ring camera footage. There she was, hoodie, gloves, spray can in hand, even flipping off the camera before walking away. This wasn't just petty HOA nonsense anymore. Under California Penal Code 594, it was felony vandalism, and I wasn't going to let her get away with it. I called my attorney, Sam, that same night. We went through the footage frame by frame, zooming in to confirm the face, the posture, the smug smirk at the camera. No mistaking it, Rita had turned my driveway into a crime scene. The damage tally was brutal. One, $800 for high-performance Pirelli P0 tires, $1,200 for both mirror housings, $6,500 for specialized repaint and detailing to remove the spray without harming the matte finish, plus $2,000 for a rental car while the Emira was in the shop. In total, over $11,500 in damages. Sam explained that under California Civil Code 3333, I could recover the full amount in a civil suit, and under California Penal Code 594, this was a felony due to the cost exceeding $400. We decided to go for both, criminal charges and a civil lawsuit. But before the legal wheels could start turning, I wanted the community to know exactly who they were dealing with. The next HOA meeting was perfect. Rita was there, sitting with her arms folded like she was moderating the United Nations. Halfway through new business, I stood, plugged in my laptop, and projected the Ring footage onto the meeting room wall. The room went silent. Rita shifted in her seat, her eyes darting around the room as the video played, her leaning in with the spray can, carefully slashing each tire, then casually strolling off like she was watering plants. "That's edited," she blurted. "This is harassment. I was acting under community stewardship, protecting the neighborhood's peace." A murmur of disbelief rolled through the room. Sam, sitting in the back, spoke up. "Under California law, that's felony vandalism, and she's about to answer for it in court." Her face went pale. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. The evidence spoke louder than anything I could say. 2 days later, police served her with a criminal summons at her own front door. The look she gave me across the street wasn't anger anymore. It was fear. And that, frankly, felt like the first win in this entire mess. But I wasn't done. Court was coming. And I was going to make sure every dollar, every hour, every bit of stress she'd caused me came right back to her tenfold. Court day arrived, and Rita walked in wearing a forced smile, like she thought charm could erase high-definition video evidence. My attorney presented the case cleanly. The footage, the repair estimates, and her own HOA notes about wanting me to remove the noisy status symbol. The judge didn't mince words. Using your HOA position as a pretext to commit felony vandalism is not only unlawful, it's an abuse of community trust. Under California Penal Code 594, she was convicted of vandalism and malicious destruction of property. She was ordered to pay $13,500, covering my repair costs, the rental car, and legal fees, plus court-ordered restitution. The sentence also included probation, community service, and a brief stint in county jail. She had 30 days to pay or risk further penalties under California Code of Civil Procedure 699.720, which allows seizure of property for unpaid judgments. 2 months later, her house went quiet. The blinds stayed shut. Then one morning, a moving truck appeared, and by sundown, Rita Baker was gone. No goodbye, no explanation, just absence. I didn't throw a party or make a speech. I just drove my Emira, its paint gleaming, tires new, engine purring, once around the block. A few neighbors waved, a couple clapped. I parked it in the driveway, stepped out, and for the first time in weeks, I breathed without tension. Sometimes winning isn't about shouting the loudest. Sometimes it's about letting the truth and the law speak for you.